In this video, I started out with $0 in his truck and spent the last 4 years building the farm to where it is today, only to go broke. So now I have the challenge of starting over on a brand new farm with next to no money. Will I go broke or will I make it big? Stay tuned to find out. And if you guys want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and drop a like helps too. Anyway, let's go do some farming. Well, boys, it's another day back out here on the farm. We have just under $5,000 in the account, and the farm is an absolute mess right now. However, today is the day we can finally go on soybeans. We have been patiently waiting, and it's finally warm enough so we can get going on that. Now, the other day I picked up this land roller, and there's a field of oats I gotta go land roll. Now, since we're almost out of money, I ended up putting this John Deere 2950 up for sale. I have someone coming to look at it today. I'm hoping they take it because I need it gone, because I need some cash and I need it fast. But first things first is getting this farm cleaned up because there is equipment absolutely everywhere around here. Okay, well, I think I got everything I needed to semi-organized here, and I guess I'm gonna use the case on this land roller because yeah, the 4020 does not have any air conditioning and I would like to ride in a nice comfy cab. I mean, I could try pull it with the Cummins, don't know how well it would go though, and it has no hydraulics to get it unfolded. Okay, so this is the oats field here. Now it's already starting to sprout up a decent amount. It's not to the point where if we roll it, it's gonna damage the crop. It still springs back, but if we wait any longer, that's not gonna be the case. Wonder if I should roll the grass field too. Maybe that'll take some of the bumps out of it. Now, the sucky thing is I do not have any GPS in this tractor, so I gotta try gauge the best I can on if it's rolled or not, which you can kind of see a little bit. It's not very easy to see though. Okay, and that should be this field finished. We're gonna roll the beans right after we plant them though. We're not having to wait till as late as we did this time, because when it gets to this point, this is about as late as you want to go before you can't roll anymore. So I hooked the seeder back up to the case here, and I'm having a hard time getting out of here because we do not have much turning room. Oh man, we might be a little stuck here. We got it? Yeah, we got it. So this seeder still has a bunch of seed in it. I don't know if we're gonna fit through that opening there. We'll just go to the other one. Oh, that and I have to feed the cows today. Okay, this might be a little sketchy too. I'm gonna try though, and we're just barely gonna squeak past. Except it's really muddy through here. Please don't get stuck. Please don't get stuck. We're good. Spinning a little bit, but not too bad. And off we go. I'm probably gonna have to do 2, maybe 3 headlands on this field. There is a few problems with these fields out here. There's a nice fence right on the edge of them, so you have not a lot of extra turning room. And normally that wouldn't be a problem, but since we have a great big air seeder, kind of throws a wrench into things, but we make it work. I'm hoping that we have enough in here to finish this field. I'd really like to not have to tap into those bins just yet. There's not a whole lot in there, and by the time we tap into those, we're probably gonna have to go get some more, and seed and fertilizer is not cheap out here. Well, I was just cruising along here. Everything was going great, and then the blower motor cut out on the seeder. Now, if you don't know what the blower motor does, it blows seed and fertilizer all the way from the tanks all the way up here to the drawbar and then disperses it to all the rows. Now that's run off hydraulics. I'm not sure if the blower motor is not working or it's the hydraulics. I gotta check if there's any hydraulic pressure. All right, so I did some checking. There's next to no hydraulic pressure. There must be a leak somewhere. Not seeing any leaks. Didn't notice the tractor was starting to get a little hard to turn because all the turnings ran off hydraulics too. Oh man, I wonder if it's the hydraulic pump. Hold on, let me make a call. Well, we got some bad news. It's the hydraulic pump. It's going out on this tractor, so I gotta detach this. Hope I can limp this thing to the dealership and then figure out what the heck I gotta do, because I gotta get these beans in and like now. And I don't have another tractor that could really do this. I don't think, at least. Oh man, this thing's so hard to turn. Oh, come on now. All right, yeah, the hydraulic pump is definitely going out on this tractor, so that it's not good at all. Well, I'm gonna try and limp it back to the dealership there. I don't even know what something like that's gonna cost. I guess we'll have to see. Well, I'm back from the dealership without a tractor. I am currently a tractor down. Now, the reason for that is because, yeah, the hydraulic pump is pretty much gone on that thing. They don't know how much it's gonna cost yet because they can't find one. It's an older tractor. They're apparently hard to come by. So I am pretty much screwed. Now, the only tractor I have that could possibly even think about running the seeder there is this 8910. Now, definitely not without duals, so I gotta try find some duals. I should probably check the horsepower first. Okay, so the 8910 has 170 horsepower, and it looks like the drawbar only requires 144. We're going to be cutting it a little close on horsepower. Well, I guess I'm going to try and make some calls and see if I can find some duels. I mean, even if I do find duels, I don't got a whole lot of money till after this tractor sells, if it does, which we're still waiting to hear back on. Well, boy, am I glad to have some good neighbors. $2,000 later, and I got a set of duels for the tractor. Now that is one heck of a deal. I mean, they're older used duels, but they're pretty close to the inner tires, so we should be good. Now, I still don't know if this thing's even going to be able to run the seeder. I hope it's going to be able to, but even with the horsepower being so close, I have a feeling it's not going to be terribly easy. Well, one undersized tractor coming up. Holy smokes, we're actually doing it. I did not think that this thing was going to be able to handle the seeder, but it is. We might not actually be screwed. I mean, it's definitely going to put a lot of wear and tear on this tractor, but if it means we can at least get the crops in, that's all that matters. And you know what? It has a tighter turning radius than the big case. That's actually surprising. Yeah, you can definitely hear this thing bogging down, but we're going. We're making some progress. I should probably have some front weight on this. Might have to put a bale in the bucket or something if we start losing traction. Well, that's it for this field. Seeder's just about empty, so we're gonna have to get that full before the next one. But I did it. Oh, this dang mud. I'm gonna have to get some gravel in there or something, because that is nasty. Okay, so since the case is busy here, I'm just gonna take the 4020 and we're gonna go grab some bales for the cattle. I should probably get these all stacked under storage, but we'll get there eventually. Forgot how much life's still in the old 4020. Can haul 2 bales, no problem. All right, cows, I'm trusting you not to escape. There, that should keep them fed for a little bit. So I'm out here at the next field we got to do, and it's looking a little bit wet out here. So we may have to hold off another day or so. It's nice and warm, and maybe if I had the bigger tractor, I wouldn't stress so much, but with the smaller one, I got nothing to pull that out with if it gets stuck. I mean, I got the 4020, but I don't think that's doing much. So the auger's set up here. We just gotta position this thing very specifically. I hope I can get it. Might take some maneuvering. Well, I think that's about got it. Fire this bad boy up. Okay, well, this thing's good on fertilizer now. The only thing it would need is seed, but we might be good on that just yet. We'll probably burn through one more tank of fertilizer before we burn through the rest of the seed, because we're really laying the fertilizer on thick here, because I want them extra yields. Here's what you got to do when you want to get yourself back from the field. Toss the quad in the bucket. Good to go. Don't close the claws, though. That might not be a good situation. Refrain from doing that. But otherwise, it works good. Just don't get stuck. Yeah, we're good. We're cruising. Let's just drop the quad off. Oh, come on now. There you go. And back to the farm we go. This is just gonna sit out here for the next day till this field's ready to go. I have to get this roller out of the way. I got it hooked up to the quad. I don't know if the quad likes it, but it does move it, surprisingly enough. The front end's almost off the ground, though. I'm surprised we can actually turn. The old 4-tracks can't be beat. So after washing a tractor for about the 15,000th time, because it's so dang muddy out here, I grabbed the hay rake and headed out to finish up a field. But unfortunately, this time I had the 4020, not the nice cabbed-in case with perfectly working AC. Under normal circumstances, this tractor would have been fine, but today was particularly hot, and particularly hot days and an open cab don't mix well. Also, it probably didn't help that I was wearing a whole vest and a long sleeve shirt, but that's besides the point. So with the field now raked and ready to be baled, I got back to the farm, dropped the rake, and finally got around to grabbing the rest of the bales out of the other field, which took a little bit of time, but all things considered, it wasn't too bad. But my stacking job, however, now that was pretty dang bad. Yeah, definitely wasn't pretty. In the meantime, though, my tractor had sold, which netted me an extra $25,000, which meant I was no longer broke. And with the case still hooked up to the seeder, that meant that my only tractor to run the baler was the 4020. So open cab for me yet again. But it wasn't all bad because this field was yielding a lot of bales. Now, keep in mind that this is not our field. It is in fact the neighbor's field, and we only get to keep 50% of the bales that come off of this field. Now, while that doesn't sound like much, there's still a pretty decent amount of bales out here, so it should be a pretty good payday. Well, the tractor's dirty, the baler's dirty, and it's been one heck of a busy day. At any rate, we got 24 bales off that field, so us only being able to keep 50% of them, that's 12. That's still way more than I thought we'd get. Now let me just wash this tractor for the millionth time today. This is actually kind of getting out of hand. So currently we're sitting at about $27,000, almost $28,000. That's a good chunk of change. And with the sale of the hay bales, we might be up to about 35,000, something like that. Not anything too crazy. I've got to figure out a way to make some more cash while we're going to be waiting for the crops to grow after they're in the ground. I have a couple ideas, but if you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. this. But I'm hoping tomorrow we can at least get out in the field, get that last field of soybeans planted, and it's a big field, so it's going to be quite the undertaking, especially without the big tractor. I don't even know what that's going to cost to fix yet. It could be really expensive, it could be cheap, but my guess is if they can't find the part, it ain't going to be cheap. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Subscribe, and goodbye.